Hey, what's the deal, YouTube? It's your girl, Miss Honey. Welcome back to the channel, you guys. It is your girl, Miss Honey, here for another recap slash review slash discussion. You guys know what this is. This is Handmaid's Tale, Season 5, Episode 5, Fairytale. Oh, lot of flashback. A lot of past montages, if you will. Not montages so much, but definitely flashbacks, definitely from Serena Joy's side. Let's get into this episode. Okay, listen. I'm so behind on this episode. It took me a long time to watch it, and then when I watched it, I was underwhelmed. Necessary episode. Some things in the episode were definitely necessary. I think we could have did this a little bit differently, but it's fine. It is what it is. Let's talk about it. First things first, we do not really visit anyone else outside of Serena Joy and what she's got going on over there at the Wheelers, and Luke and June, what they have going on over on their side. Now, it's very interesting because they both are in a bit of a pickle, right? Serena Joy kind of suspects that she's in a pickle. She doesn't know, but her antennae are up. The little bitty hairs are standing up on her arm. Right? She's finally getting what we were saying in last week's episode. Or episode 4, is that, girl, you a handmaid. Ma'am, they want your baby. They want your baby. Like, no, you're not a consigliere. You're not, like, you know what I'm saying, supreme executive assistant to all the commanders. Like, no, ma'am. You are a handmaid, okay? And June subconsciously wants to go back into Gilead and get her daughter Hannah. She feels like no one's going to be able to do it. No one's going to be able to help her. If she can get back into Gilead, she could possibly make this work. Right? I say subconsciously because on the outside, June is doing everything she can to really try to A, hold it together, and B, do things the way that Canada wants it done. Her friends and family want it done, right? Like, you know, slow down a little bit, pace yourself a little bit, because, you know, it's going to be a process to get Hannah back. But secretly, I think she has wanted to go back into Gilead for some time. And she feels a lot of pressure because Hannah is about to become a wife. She could become a wife at any time now. She's 12. It's an accelerated program that she's in, the Plums. Okay, and they teach you how to maintain a household and so on and so forth. It's very stringent. When she comes out of there, she's going to be passed off to some old man somewhere and hopefully start procreating babies, you know, of a certain ilk, right? Like of a certain, you know, stature, right? They want their wives to start having babies. This handmaids thing is great, especially if you into abusing and mistreating and graping and essay pervert, like all of these things. It's great for that, but this baby thing, you know what I'm saying? It's not working out the way they thought it would, right? Thanks to June. So she feels that much more pressure to save Hannah Banana. All right. You guys know, after the way Serena Joy talked to Luke and singed his hairs, nose hairs, okay, plucked his eyelashes out one at a time with her teeth, he has been revved up. Not just to kill her, if she should, you know, if the situation should call for it, but also he wants to prove to himself, to June, to everybody, that he didn't just sit around while she did all the battling and the fighting to get back to him, that he is the active participant, and it's not just from a, I'm gonna file some papers to get some permits done. He's gonna go in there with the muscle and the know-how and get it done. Okay, so everybody's got a lot going on in these two scenarios. Let's talk about Serena Joy. Listen, let me tell you something. She gets up for the day. Every time we see her belly's a different size. Every time we see her belly's a different size. Like when they came to, she was doing yoga and they came to tell her that Fred was dead, she had just the slightest little bump, just the slightest little poo. Okay, as soon as she got off that plane, with Commander Waterford's body, I don't know, she was just like, I am just so pregnant. And then she really talked them into, when she talked them into letting her have this grand affair for Commander Waterford. Baby, when I tell you, she put on a skin tight dress and had that bump so pronounced, walked down the middle of the street so everybody could see her big, beautiful, bulging bump. Now we see her standing in front of the window and she got her hands on her hips like she pushing it out. I was like, girl, you look like you getting bigger and bigger and bigger by the moment. You might want to slow that down a little bit, because I just feel like when you pop, it's going to be all over for you, right? And then you're going to get thrown back on the heat. You got 6 to 8 weeks to heal, and then you're going to have to get another baby in your belly, right? Okay, so she goes downstairs and she's speaking to all the housekeepers and everything, and they not like Marthas, they just like regular housekeepers. She's speaking to them, and she goes and sits down, and Mrs. Wheeler is at the breakfast table, and they're having, you don't have to put out such a beautiful spread for me. She was like, oh well, this is really for the light that lives inside of you, ma'am. Not so much you, but the baby that's living inside of you is why we're just making sure you have everything you need. And it is quite a spread, right? So they chit chat and talk a little bit about the baby, the experience of the baby, and how grateful Mrs. Wheeler is to have her there, and they want to make sure she's taken care of. She goes to the door. She leaves breakfast, and Ezra is coming in, and Ezra has got flowers, and someone has left it there for her, some beautiful flowers for her. And she is like, oh, okay, that is so sweet. That is so nice. And she hands it off. Now, she's still, at this moment, I think she's still kind of feeling like a celebrity. Feeling like all of this is because I am bearing my own child. You know what I'm saying? And it was conceived like the regular way, right? I think she's still kind of feeling those things. All right? And she asked Ezra if she could talk to Commander Wheeler so she can thank him personally. Right? Now, part of her want to see what's up with him, but another part of her probably feels like, hey, you know what? This should be my life. This used to be my life. I do not put it past her to get rid of Miss Wheeler, to be thinking in her head that she can get rid of Miss Wheeler and replace Miss Wheeler, right? And then just put together her little family, bada bing, bada boom. Everything's back the way it was, right? And then the other part of her is probably just want to test the waters and see what's going on. Like I'm not sure, but I feel like something's off a little bit. He tells her he's a very busy man. Ezra says, yeah, Mr. Wheeler's a very busy man, but I will see what I can do. Because she was like, oh, he doesn't want to meet me? That's weird, because I am kind of a celebrity in these parts. And Ezra was like, you know what? Let me see what I can do. Again, everybody wants to keep her calm. It's not about her. It's about this baby. It's about this baby. All right? So everybody's just in this Stepford mode. Good day, ma'am. Hello, ma'am. How are you, ma'am? What a beautiful color, ma'am. Woo, 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 woo. Mrs. Wheeler done put together a sewing circle, child, of all the other wives, honey, and they are so enamored. It's like her belly is a ball. It is the sunshine, and they just want to touch it, right? They just want to be a part of it. And she sits down and she's like, oh, and she's sitting there with that big old belly, and she's like, oh, he's kicking. And they were like, can we? They just all kneeling around and gathering around and touching her belly. In these moments, she feels praised. In these moments, she feels special. At the same time, mid-afternoon, Commander Joseph is on the phone. And she wants to know if Miss Wheeler wants to join her for the phone conversation, right? And Mrs. Wheeler's like, oh, no, I'm just a lonely wife. I don't know about such things. And she was like, oh, okay. But she does stay in earshot. Goes to the phone, hits the phone, and Commander Joseph is like, Commander Joseph. He was like, Serena Joy. How are you coming along? Oh, I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm eager to get back to the Gilead Information Center. And he says, well, slow your roll. Slow your roll. There's a lot going on, and a lot of it is surrounding you. We need to be super duper careful right now, because the most important thing is to make sure that you are safe and sound. You know what I'm saying? Like, pace yourself, right? And she was like, well, no, here's my thought process. It's so much anger surrounding the Gilead Information Center. What if we change the branding on it and make it more about fertility, right? And all things fertility. And he was like, I don't know about that. I would, well, is it Pilgrim, Fulgrim, Milford? What's the one that upset Esther so bad she went back to the Handmaids Center and promptly poisoned Janine? I forget his name, but him and his wife, he there, and hello Serena, and she was like, oh, Commander, whatever your name is, Commander Pervert, I didn't know you were there. And Commander Joseph was like, what a lovely surprise. I had no idea he was attending this meeting either. Right? So they together on the phone, and she's on the phone at the Wheelers. Okay, and this is when she wants to have this pitch, right? He's overheard this pitch. He's thrown his 2 cents in the ring about this pitch. He doesn't really think it's gonna work. This doesn't make any sense. Woo, 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 woo. And you need to be worried about other things, and we have people to handle it. It was just like brushing her off and minimizing and diminishing. Like, if she can't tell that he don't care for her and he don't like her, I mean, I don't know. Wasn't he the one spearheading you getting your finger cut off, ma'am? Like, he's telling you without saying it directly, but he is telling you. He is telling you that he don't care for you. This is quite a financial undertaking, that we've already put so much money into this. I don't know about this whole rebranding thing. And she was like, she made her pitch. And I would like to head it up. And I would like to woo, to woo, to woo, to woo. He was like, you know what? I say good day. I'm not finna haggle with you. You're not finna talk back to me. You're not finna talk back to me. Okay? Commander Joseph did what he does. He did what he does. It was a good idea. He pushed the good idea. Somehow it got through. Then we finally get to meet Commander Wheeler. But before that, she's walking on the grounds, and she's walking towards the gate. Like she gonna want to go out. And it's 2 guards there at the gate, and Ezra's at the gate, and there's a woman there, and she's got flowers, and she dressed in blue. And she was like, well, I don't understand. Why can't y'all let her in? I would like to go out. He was like, no, you can't go out. It's not safe out there for you right now. She was like, what do you mean not safe? This woman looks harmless. He was like, yeah, everybody look harmless, right? I look harmless, but I'm here to steal your baby, boo. Anywho, she was like, well, seriously, I would like to go out. She was like, oh, he was like, oh no, the orders are for you not to go out. Like, it's not safe for you to go out, and I can't let you out. Why don't you just walk the grounds? Just walk and enjoy the beautiful grounds. How about you do that? And she was like, oh, okay. Now, all of this is happening. She's flashing back. she's flashing back to when her and Commander Pervert's wife, when everything started, are walking through the Handmaid Center. At this time, it's all the children that they've stolen, and they're saying that they stole them from unfit mothers, right? And they're in like these glass cages. Each one has a whatever Aunt Lydia is, right? One of those people, all dressed in brown, real dowdy and stuff, looking like Ruth Buzzy, right? Y'all remember Ruth Buzzy? All of them look like Ruth Buzzy. Anyway, and there's kids in there, and they just like coloring, and some of them are like waving, some of them are like hitting on the glass because they just want to get out of there, and like, maybe I can go to another family, maybe my mama and daddy will be there. Like, it's really sad. And then they're walking through this, it would kind of be like a hospital room, like when you go see the babies, but except it's separate rooms, and there's children of various ages in these rooms, right? And the lady was like, well, no, I don't want a baby like that. And Serena was like, yeah, it's so déclassé. And she was like, yeah, because you don't know their background or where they came from or anything, right? And Serena Joy was like, oh, yes. And she was like, well, have you been pitched the Handmaids program? And Serena Joy was like, yes, are you going to do it? And she was like, no, she reading the room, right? And the other one was like, oh, absolutely not. I'm not going to do it either. I can't bring myself to do whoa. Like, it is just horrible. And then when she flashed back again at another time during this period that she's at the Wheelers, is when the Handmaids program is getting started. Right? Just shortly later, the program the initiative has gotten started. And the handmaids are being picked for each of the families. Okay? And that whole process, how that whole process went, and how she felt about how it was done. How it made her feel and all of these things. So she's just thinking back on how the process went, like all the little nuances of the process and how people were feeling and the things that people were saying in that moment, what the temperature was. And she just kind of chewing on all of these things, what's happening in present day, as well as those things in her remembrance. Oh, she's putting it together slowly, but baby, she's putting it together. Okay. So, like I said, Commander Wheeler comes in and he lets her know, hey, listen, I've been super busy. Glad to see you. Glad you're here. And he goes to look out the window. He tries not to look on her too hard. Okay, but he's very clear. He's very direct with her, but he does it in a real gentle type of way. Like, she understood what needed to be done. He told her that they have agreed to change the center to a more fertility-centered type facility. And he said that idea was genius, really just genius. And I was like, aren't y'all supposed to be like some of the finest in the land? Commander. Like, really? Duh. And she was like, oh, that is absolutely fabulous. I will get started right away and start working on it. How soon can I? He was like, oh, no. You're so close to being due. He was like, and we want to keep you safe. You really should be focusing on getting your rest, okay, and taking care of yourself. That should be your main focus. We have many people that can spearhead this up. She was like, but it's my initiative. He was like, yes, but I have also spoken. Okay. He was like, you know what? You just must be so tired. And he had some little pills he wanted to give her. And he said, I think these will be helpful for you in your later stages to help you make you more comfortable. And she was like, oh, okay. And he pours her a glass of water and gives her that glass of water. And she knows, you best take this pill. I'm looking right at you. You best take it. She sure looked like she did. She popped it in her mouth and took that drink of water and tossed her head back like it was gone. I was waiting for him to say, and can I see that tongue, please? And lift. That's what I was waiting on. He didn't. But at the same time, what he was trying to convey, she felt it. I'm in charge here, not you. You run all the other boys, you won't run me. Okay? Because I don't look you in your eyes, Medusa. Okay? I'm not looking you in your eyes, right? Oh, the sense of terror she must have felt. The sense of terror that she must have felt. Yeah. Yeah. That hair that is raising up on the back of your neck, baby, that is your spidey sense tingling, boo. You in danger. You in danger, Pearl. You in danger. Yeah. Okay, so that's Serena Joy, right? Okay, June done got a call in the middle of the night. And she wakes up and she's like, when? Where? How? Okay. And Luke is like, what? What's happening? What do you know? What's going on? Like the story of his life. He's like, who? What? When? Where? How? Who? What? When? Where? Right? Him, June, and Luke. Okay, Luke, June, and Moira head off to the border. Now they going to meet the people in the woods. You know, the ones that got a call through the Nick. They going back to meet them, right? Because they got somebody from the other side that can tell her about the Plums program. Tell her what's going on with the Plums program. Okay, they got some information. So they all gonna go as a family. They get there and come to find out that the man on the other side is too scared to come over. He too scared to meet with them. He too scared to do anything because it's real hot right now. You know what I'm saying? The block is hot. And Luke is like, oh, she said, I'm so sorry. I didn't want y'all to come all this way and not be able to. I was like, it's just a transfer of information. If you can talk to the guy to find out if the block is hot, you can get the information that he have about the plums and bring it back over to Luke. Like, why do they have to go and meet him to talk to him to get, like, it was just. That's why I said it's a subconscious thing. June, you know, she went from, she's never said, I want to go back into Gilead, but she's always given that energy. Like when she was talking to Rita, okay, she gave that energy. Right? But she won't say it out loud because she knows it's the last thing Luke want to hear, or Moira or anybody else. They worked so hard. People lost their lives to get her out of there. People died. Right? But she really feels like the only way is if she goes back. Right? But she doesn't say a word. She just is looking off into the woods like, what do we do now? Like, we came all this way to get this information. And Luke says, I'm going over. I'm going on into Gilead. And everybody's like, Luke, where's this coming from? And Luke is like, I feel brave. I you know what? I can definitely do this. I really feel like I could do this successfully. This is the energy he's giving. Like, oh, no, I can do this. Like, this can be done, right? And so, June is like, what? But you soft as a baby's bottom. You gentle as a breeze. You know what? I'm gonna go with you. And Luke was like, no. She was like, trust me, you need me to go with you. Like, you is not finna go over there and get killed straight away, and then I got to come and drag your dead body and my living baby from over there. No, I'm gonna definitely go with you. And Moira was like, oh, I don't do Gilead. Somebody got to stay with the baby, right? So they got to take some bags full of supplies that she's sending over into Gilead to this individual. And the password is beret. So they walk through the woods as much as they can. They see a body hanging, and Luke thinks it's Gilead. And she says, Gilead don't use words, because it said something across the front of it, child. I don't know. And Luke is just stunned by the body hanging in the tree. Really, Luke? Really, Luke? Because the last time I checked, you half African American-ish. Really? Still, he's not used to seeing these types of things. In other words, like it just threw him off. It was like his first time ever seeing in a picture book, a live, or anything, somebody hanging. And he was just really, 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 and she was like, Luke, come on. And he was just like, oh, I've never seen anything so horrible. And she said, Luke, let's do it. Let's move. Come on. Snap, snap. Underlay, underlay. And he was like, oh, okay. So they go on. There's a guy behind a tree with a gun, and he pops it out, and he was like, freeze. And they were like, oh, he was like, raspberry. And Luke was like, yeah. And of course, June was like, beret. And he was like, okay, follow me. And they were like, no, you talk to us right here. He was like, look, it is not safe out here. Let's go. Let's go. Follow me. I didn't understand any of it. I didn't understand why they couldn't just get down on the ground, get the information, exchange the bags, belly crawl 2 feet away, and then get up and walk back everybody walk back from the way they came briskly. Maybe I don't know how to do things, child. You know what I'm saying? Maybe I'm just not good at sneaking. I don't know. It seemed kind of elementary to me, but all right. So, he takes them to a secret hideout. They go inside. And June is suspicious. Super duper suspicious. Like, she is just like, this is all just too elaborate. It's all just a little too weird. Yeah, June. Yeah, absolutely. It's all a little weird that you even left your house for this, right? Like, unless they was bringing Hannah banana. I mean, I just don't know why that information couldn't have been relayed to you. Like, I don't know. Maybe she wanted to look at the guy in his eyes and see if he was telling the truth himself. I don't know. Turns out it's an old bowling alley, child. And it's still running. He got lights on. He got beer, all of that. He tells her about the program. What I told y'all. The girls are 12. That means when they get 12, they ready to go into the program. And it's accelerated, and they coming along nicely. As soon as they come along, they get placed with a husband like Esther did, and so the guy that was helping them, the Gilead guard that was helping them, he was just like, yeah, that's the program. He was like, she's 12 years old, man. That's my daughter, and she's 12 years old. And the guy was like, oh, I'm sorry. Well, see, it turns out that he is original Gilead before things went south, and they turned into this tyranny of torture and terror. You know what I'm saying? So he remembered, doing things like regular American children do things before things change. And so June was like, oh, so you're original Gilead? And he was like, yeah. And so she said, wow, he's so pure. This is what she's telling Luke, because Luke is bowling with the guy. He was like, we need to just stay here until we move at night. They didn't want to stay, and June didn't want to stay. But Luke was like, we might as well. And the guy turned the game on. He's bowling. The guy's bowling. And June is just watching it all. He's passing out beer. And she was like, beer? Like are we seriously having beer? And then Luke played a song on the piano. Like, it's a moment where they kind of all let their hair down for a little bit, relax a little bit before they got to get back out there and make a break for it. Hopefully try to get back into Canada safely. And so they going back through the woods. They going a different way. And I just think that moving in the daylight would have been a little bit better. I don't know. Covering your face in mud, running from tree to tree. Like, I don't know what to do. I just think at nighttime, how do you know which way to go at night? Like, I don't know. Are you following reading the moss on the trees? Are you following the moonlight? Like, so he's taking them through the woods, and they're supposed to be going a different direction. This is a better way. And he turns around and talks to them. They're walking behind him, following him, and he's walking backwards, and he steps on something, click. And he was like, oh, and they were like, what? He was like, it's a landmine. And he was like, y'all just back up. Don't worry. I think I know what to do. I feel like this will be okay. After all, I mean, I am a certified... Flip, 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 flip. Your foot's gone, okay? Your femur severed, gone, broken, right? It's bad. It's bad. And he's like, Plus, it's a loud explosion, right? So if anyone's in the woods, they're gonna come running. Next thing you know, there's lights from all sides, just lights, 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 and people are running towards, and there's trucks coming through. I was like, good gracious alive. Like they was camped like right there, like right there. It's crazy. And Luke don't want to leave him, right? He was like, yeah, you're going to be okay. You're going to be all right. And he was like, oh, and the guy was like, you guys have to go, leave, go, run. And he said, we're not going to leave you. Luke was like, we're not going to leave you. We promise we're not going to leave you. Luke, this is war, baby. This is war. You got your information. You got your supplies. Get gone, right? He knew what it was, right? She tears off his ankle with his belt and you know his leg and tries to stop the bleeding. And he is like, and she said, Luke, we gotta go. He was like, I don't want to leave him. Luke, we gotta go. But he helped us. Luke, we gotta go. But he bowled 350. She was like, let's go. They take off running. People are encroaching and they're right on their tails. They somehow get into a clearing. And the vehicles are there. They run. They've escaped the people in the woods, they think, but they're pursuing them. And they run in the clearing, and there's a car coming, and the people get out of the car and they run. And on one side of the car is a group of individuals that grab Luke, and then on the other side, those group of individuals grab June, and they run across the field in one direction, and the people with Luke run. They separate them. Luke, June. I was like, what was y'all thinking? What were y'all thinking? First of all, you got a baby at home. You should have just took your chance. It's the same Mickey Fricky chance, except you can see where you're going. Crab walk, duck walk, I don't know. But why you would wait tonight to do that? It wasn't like you was marking trees on your way, dropping bread crumbs. Luke and June are captured. At first, I thought maybe they're friends. And they don't know until they get them settled down and say, listen, we heard the explosion. We came to save you. Let's get you back across the border. But then I saw the previews for next week and they're captured. Yeah, they're captured. I was like, yeah, dog. It's one thing for June to be captured because June always find a way. She always find a way. She always finds somebody to talk into giving up their life for hers, right? At the same time, they got Luke over there. Luke is not built for none of this ish. He just ain't. He just ain't built for it. He's too tender. You know what I'm saying? Inside his hands and his feet is soft. It's very soft. You know what I'm saying? He fragile. Okay? He fragile. June's got 2 problems on her hand, right? She got to get herself out and Hannah Banana, but now she got Luke. Baby, what I tell you, it's like having 2 children. I promise you it's like having 2 children. Y'all tell me what y'all think of this episode. Oh, I feel bad for Serena Joy. At the same time, I noticed in the comments on last episode, everybody was like, serve her right, serve her right. That's what she get. Woo, woo, woo. Listen, it's going to be a mess. It's going to be a mess for Serena Joy. Like, I just want to see how bad it's going to get for her. Y'all tell me what y'all think of this episode. Y'all put it down below. Listen, and until next time, honeybees, mwah, mwah, mwah. I holla.